Hello, I'm Dom Wormell and I'm the head of the mammal department here at Jersey Zoo. And because it's the great big green week, I thought I'd show you our wonderful bats and the bat house here, because the development of this bat house really has sustainability at its heart. So where we're standing now is in this great big trench. It's about 7 feet deep and it sits below effectively a horticultural polytunnel. The reason we built this enclosure was because we needed to give the bats the ability to fly and have continuous flight. If you think this is 100 metres, they can fly all the way around. And that fitness and health has helped them breed, and we've had a wonderful breeding success ever since we built this enclosure. At the time when we decided to build the enclosure, we didn't really have much money for the project. So what we did, we said, right, we need volunteer help, and we're going to build it out of recycled materials. So we used 300 rammed earth-filled car tyres. We used recycled wood to build all the public areas, and we were using wood from site to heat a biomass boiler that provided heat for the building. So it was, as far as possible, we used recycled materials and we used volunteer help. The project has been an amazing success, not only in terms of the breeding success and health of the animals here. This is the rarest fruit bat in the world, the Livingstone's fruit bat, but also for how people see these animals flying straight at them. Because the public just stand down there and they can have 8 bats fly into them at once. It's truly a wonderful spectacle. So we're down here at the bottom of the enclosure, right to the top of the enclosure there. It's a good sort of 20 feet up. And we've created this valley which is below the surface of the earth, the surface of the main building here, because we can cool the air down here. So we have destratification fans on the top, up there, you can hear them. And so what they're doing is they're recycling the air, so it stops the top of the building getting too hot. And because this building is, for most of the year, passively solar heated, that means that we're using the heat from the sun to heat this building right through most of the months of the year. We need to be able to cool it in the height of summer. So having these cool valleys are a great way to recycle that air. So one of the other features in the building, one of the recycled features, is the fact that we used a lot of recycled astroturf from the Kennervay hockey pitch. And also new lawns gave us lots of offcuts of people's grass lawns. So the majority of it in here is the Kennervay hockey pitch. And as you can see, it was a perfect way to protect the bank, but also it creates this filter medium. So if I lift up a piece here, you'll see it's full of loads of worms. And this is full of worms and other creatures that are feeding off the detritus that falls through, you see. And then the water soaks down into the bank. There's no soil in here. We've got no soil whatsoever. It's just this astroturf and fake grass. There you can even see one of the white lines here from Kennervay hockey pitch. And all of these plants are flourishing just from the water that's come through, that's washed away the bat droppings and bat urine, which we know is an incredible fertiliser. We look at all of these plants here, they're all donated, they're all growing like mad. I mean, we have to throw away plants because they grow so massive. And this is all due to how rich the fertiliser is from the bats. We use no artificial fertilisers in here at all, no insecticides, it's completely organic. All we do is add food, bats and water, and we've got the Garden of Eden, really. So along this bank here we have about 300 rammed earth car tyres. I'll just show you here. These are rammed earth car tyres, so inside each one of those tyres is about 3 wheelbarrows of earth. Pack it in with a sledgehammer, and so you create this sort of lump of solid stone in a way, because you've rammed the earth in there. It weighs about 100 kilos. So you can imagine we've got all these tyres along this wall and in the walls over there. So we've created this huge mass that's really dense. So any of the sunlight that comes in, it generates heat in the building. That's absorbed into those massive tyres. So they become a heat sink. They will radiate their heat overnight. And that's the way that we can passively solar heat this building for most of the year, by having these heat sinks within the building. Of course, that takes a lot of effort just to do one of those. So we had 200 volunteers involved in this project, which is fantastic, you know, to see these volunteers packing the tyres week on week, and eventually building this huge wall along here and the other walls in the building. So you can see this section of wall here. So we've got straw bale on this section here, but we've got the tyres here, and you can see these lovely great big lumps here which are covered with mud. And people have sort of walked along here and knocked bits out of it. You can actually see a little bit of tyre there, but that doesn't matter. We'll repair that with a piece of mud and a bit of lime wash. No problem, you know, how much does that cost? And then here, these are all recycled bottles. People who like drinking wine and other drinks. We've made a lovely bottled window, and when we go inside, you'll see how the light shines through that, and it looks really, really nice. All right, so now we've come into the building, and you can see there's lovely windows here, but you can see the inside of the tyres here. These are rock solid things. There's no foundations to this building whatsoever. It just sits on a damp course membrane. And it's incredibly solid. So we have a lovely comfortable bench here made from recycled tyres. Pretty indestructible. The children love this. And if you look in this little window that we've left out here, you can see the straw and the mud that we've used to insulate the building. This is one of the nicest of the windows. We've got these windows right throughout the building. So over here we have these really massive tyres, and these were donated to us by the airport. So these are the fire engine tyres from those fire engines at Jersey Airport. And behind these tyres is all of that earth that was dug out from that valley that increased the height of the building, the flight space for the bats. So they're holding all that earth back. So this whole wall here stops any heat coming out of the building through this way. So again, we're seeing that energy that we've captured inside into the building. So thanks a lot for watching this little video about the bat house. And I think what I tried to do is portray to you that, you know, it's a building that's been built by the community. It's used recycled materials, and it has hardly any impact on resources. So if you think about on a big scale, if we all did that, if we all reduce, reuse, rewild, we can have enormous effect in reducing biodiversity loss, and we can live, and hopefully, in a sustainable future.